What is up, guys? It is me here, and welcome back to another video. In today's video, we're not sponsored by Marvel. Today we are going to be talking about the NFC North team's needs. It's going to be a little interesting of when this video will be uploaded. I'll be talking about that in a different video if that happens. So, stay tuned for that. But let's start off with the worst team in the NFL, like the Chicago Bears. Okay, I'm sorry, but anyway, this team is pretty much. I don't even really have to talk about this team. You already know how bad this team is. If you guys have no idea what the NFL is, this team was the worst team in the NFL. It's not a paragraph. It's pretty simple. But this is a very interesting team, and they're really in an interesting position because they only have the number 1 overall pick, then they have a 3rd round pick, a 4th round pick, and they don't have a lot of draft capital, and they don't. So it's gonna be very interesting to see what they do. But anyway, this team sucks. Literally, every team this team has needs all over the roster, outside of the QB position, which is honestly makes that just really unfortunate for Justin Fields. The fact that he has the worst supporting cast possible to mankind is ridiculous. Heck, Patrick Mahomes and Andy Reid were there. They're not going to go to the playoffs with that offense. Hell no. And their defense was also extremely terrible, which is very interesting because you want to know why? Because they have a defensive-minded head coach. I still wonder if they're regretting that they should have hired a defensive coordinator or something. But hey, it's just my opinion. And honestly, they really probably should have just hired Brian Flores. Damn. But anyway, that's kind of just it. I don't really want to talk about this team that long because it's literally just a team that has needs all over the roster. And yeah, but now let's talk about teams that are actually good. And let's start off with the Green Bay Packers. Now, the Green Bay Packers are a very interesting team because by the time I make this video, Aaron Rodgers isn't traded, so I don't know if it's traded yet or he's not. But in my opinion, if not, Aaron Rodgers just got traded, I don't think a QB is going to be a big need. Jordan Love has had some good flashes when he was on the field, and also even you hear people from the organization saying he has increased in his ability. But it's interesting. But anyways, we're going to be talking about needs here. We're not talking about Aaron Rodgers. We're talking about wide receiver. Wide receiver is one of the biggest needs for this team. Christian Watson was the only really good receiver on that roster. Maybe Romeo Doubs, but they kind of really need to address the receiver in free agency rather than the draft. And the reason why I say that is because they have lack of experience at the position, which is why I think they really should go take the free agency wide receiver. But they're not going to probably be able to do that because of their cap space. And another need is tight end. Robert Tonyan is just, in my opinion, not the answer at tight end. He's also getting really old as well. And also with a deep tight end class, I wouldn't be too surprised if Green Bay go use that with their 2nd round pick. Just saying. O-line is also a big need. Now you're like, wait, don't they have Dave Bakhtiari and Elgin Jenkins? Well, they're both injured. They're injury prone. They usually get injured, but when they get on the field, they're amazing. But they need to fix this O-line. I'm sorry, but this O-line needs to be fixed. I'm sorry. It's just truth. And the last thing that they have for needs are stopping the run. That's pretty much all I gotta say, because this team is not good at that ever. But anyway, we're done with that. Let's move on to the Vikings. And and a lot of people are about to hate me in the comment section, but I will say QB. And let me tell you why. Kirk Cousins is good enough for you to not get a high draft pick. But he isn't good enough to get to a Super Bowl. And that's just my opinion. You're getting to the NFC divisional round, and that's the best result. That's it. You're not getting anything farther than that. You're not getting anything shorter than that. It's kind of just that or missing the playoffs. You're not getting a top 10 pick. Like, that's it. It's pretty much that. That's the life of the Minnesota Vikings, unfortunately. It's very unfortunate because, like, they have such a good roster around him. It's just, like, he's not succeeding with the roster around him. So, yeah. But anyway, we also have to put wide receiver number 2, and I'll tell you that really soon. Adam Thielen is starting to progress, and you need someone to help Justin Jefferson and TJ Hockenson. So I wouldn't be too surprised to go look for that in the draft or in free agency, anywhere like that. I also think the defense, the corner especially, is some of the biggest needs that they have to address. I know Patrick Peterson was playing really good, as well as Duke Staley, I think. I think he was playing good on this team as well, but anyway, like, to the point is, they still need to address corner. Like, they're not going anywhere. And maybe safety or something. And then the last one, we got the Detroit Lions. And this is a very interesting team, because this team went to being, like, having needs a lot of, like, all over the roster to not really so much. But we're going to talk about the pass-catching unit. Outside of Amon-Ra St. Brown, they don't really have anybody that noticeable unless James Williams is a really good receiver when he comes back after injuries. But, I mean, I don't see that really coming. But, yeah, they really do need to address the pass-catching unit, wide receiver, tight end, really anything. And then you got the interior of the defensive line. Aiden Hutchinson is a very good player, but, like, that's kind of it. They don't really have anyone inside to stop the run or anything. Especially at linebacker, they don't really have anyone good outside of that 6th-round pick that they got. They also need to fix corner. Drezzakuta has some flashes, but it's not his fault that he's literally had one of the worst secondaries in the league. And yes, we're also talking about safety. That's also pretty bad, too. I wonder why you haven't made it to the playoffs. And that's like the unfortunate part. The Lions have a Super Bowl contending offense. Literally, if you're looking at their stats, like, they're top 10 in offense. I'm not kidding. While their defense, on the other hand, is one of the worst. With not really a ton of talent all over the place. Outside of Aiden Hutchinson. Which that's very unfortunate, because I really like this team. Despite I'm a Packers fan. And a Seahawks fan. We go against them once a year as a Seahawks fan, and twice a year as a Packers fan. But anyway, that will be it for today's video. Hope you guys enjoy. Peace.